Yarok, the Desecrated. Yarok is an elemental horror from Zendikar, connected to the corrupted wastes of Bala Ged. It represents a tragic being twisted by devastation, grieving for what the land and itself once were. Yarok has deathtouch and lifelink, making it both threatening in combat and useful for sustaining its controller. Its main ability causes triggered abilities of permanents you control to trigger one additional time, whenever a permanent entering the battlefield causes them to trigger. A Yarok deck commonly uses ETB and Landfall strategies to multiply value from creatures, lands, and other permanents. By ramping early, casting Yarok, and repeatedly triggering doubled effects, the deck generates strong resource advantage and can overwhelm opponents through accumulated value. Combo ideas for Yarok decks. Combo number 1. Yarok, the Desecrated. Plus, Peregrine Drake, plus, Venser, Shaper Savant. Required conditions. 1. Yarok the Desecrated is on your battlefield. 2. Peregrine Drake is in your hand. 3. Venser Shaper Savant is in your hand. 4. You control up to 5 lands that can tap to produce 3 generic mana, and to blue mana. Combo activation steps. 1. Activate up to 5 lands, and tap them. 2. Cast Peregrine Drake. 3. Peregrine Drake's ETB ability triggers twice due to Yarok, then resolve the first trigger, and untap up to 5 lands. 4. Holding priority, activate up to 5 lands, and tap them. 5. Resolve the second Peregrine Drake trigger, and untap up to 5 lands again. 6. Cast Venser. 7. Venser ETB ability triggers twice due to Yarok, then return him and Peregrine Drake from the battlefield to your hand. 8. Repeat. Combo results. 1. Infinite ETB triggers. 2. Infinite LTB triggers. 3. Infinite storm count. 4. Infinite mana that lands you control can produce. Combo number 2. Kodama of the East Tree. Plus, Scute Swarm. Plus, Golgari Rot Farm. Required conditions. 1. Kodama of the East Tree is on your battlefield. 2. Scute Swarm is on your battlefield. 3. Golgari Rot Farm is in your hand. 4. You are able to play a land this turn. Combo activation steps. 1. Play Golgari Rot Farm. 2. When Golgari Rot Farm enters the battlefield, its ETB ability triggers, which also causes Scute Swarm and Kodama of the East Tree to trigger. 3. Resolve the Kodama of the East Tree trigger first, choosing not to put anything from your hand onto the battlefield. 4. Resolve the Golgari Rot Farm trigger next, then return it from the battlefield to your hand. 5. Resolve the Scute Swarm trigger, then create a creature token. 6. When the token enters the battlefield, Kodama triggers again, then choose to put Golgari Rot Farm from your hand onto the battlefield. 7. When Golgari Rot Farm enters the battlefield, its ETB ability triggers, which also causes Scute Swarm to trigger. 8. Repeat from step 4. Combo results. 1. Infinite ETB triggers. 2. Infinite Landfall triggers. 3. Infinite creature tokens. Combo number 3. Panharmonicon, plus Shrieking Drake, plus Cloud of Faeries. Required conditions. 1. Panharmonicon is on your battlefield. 2. Shrieking Drake is in your hand. 3. Cloud of Faeries is in your hand. 4. You control 2 lands that can tap to produce a generic mana, and a blue mana. Combo activation steps. 1. Cast Cloud of Faeries. 2. Cloud of Faeries ETB ability triggers twice due to Panharmonicon. 3. Resolve the first Cloud of Faeries ability, and untap 2 lands. 4. Holding priority, activate 2 lands, and tap them. 5. Repeat step 3 for each remaining Cloud of Faeries trigger, then cast Shrieking Drake. 6. Shrieking Drake ETB ability also trigger twice due to Panharmonicon. 7. Resolve the first Shrieking Drake ability, then choose to return Cloud of Faeries from the battlefield to your hand. 8. Resolve the second Shrieking Drake ability, then choose to return itself from the battlefield to your hand. 9. Repeat. Combo results. 1. Infinite ETB triggers. 2. Infinite LTB triggers. 3. Infinite storm count. 4. Infinite mana that lands you control can produce. Combo number 4. Grey Merchant of Ashphodel plus Rite of Replication. Required conditions: 1. Grey Merchant of Ashphodel is on your battlefield. 2. Rite of Replication is in your hand. 3. You have enough mana to cast Rite of Replication including its kicker cost. Combo activation steps: 1. Cast Rite of Replication with kicker, targeting Grey Merchant of Ashphodel, then create 5 token copies of it. 2. Each Grey Merchant of Ashphodel copy ETB ability will trigger. 3. Resolve the first trigger, causing each opponent to lose life equal to your devotion to black, and causing you to gain that much life. 4. Repeat step 3 for each remaining triggers. Combo results: 1. Near infinite life gain. 2. Near infinite life loss for opponents. Combo number 5. Displacer Kitten plus Eternal Witness plus Dark Ritual. Required conditions: 1. Displacer Kitten is on your battlefield. 2. Eternal Witness is on your battlefield. 3. Dark Ritual is in your hand. 4. You have an instant or sorcery card in your graveyard that can be cast using to black mana. 5. You have enough mana to cast Dark Ritual. Combo activation steps: 1. Cast Dark Ritual. 2. Displacer Kitten triggers, then blink Eternal Witness. 3. Eternal Witness ETB ability triggers, then return an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand that can be cast using to black mana. 4. Resolve Dark Ritual, adding 3 black mana to your mana pool. 5. Cast an instant or sorcery spell. 6. Displacer Kitten triggers again, then blink Eternal Witness. 7. Eternal Witness ETB ability triggers, then return Dark Ritual from your graveyard to your hand. 8. Resolve the instant or sorcery spell. 9. Repeat. Combo results: 1. Infinite ETB triggers. 2. Infinite LTB triggers. 3. Infinite Magecraft triggers. 4. Infinite Storm Count.
Hi Commander, if you are new here, welcome to our channel. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click that bell icon to get notified every time we post a new video. Enjoy!
Non-game changer spells that are commonly found in Yarok decks. Panharmonicon. ETB multiplication. Panharmonicon and Yarok both add 1 extra trigger, so an artifact or creature entering the battlefield can cause relevant triggered abilities of permanents you control to trigger multiple times instead of once. Value engines. In a Yarok ETB strategy, Panharmonicon greatly improves creatures that draw cards, ramp, remove permanents, drain life, or create tokens when they enter, allowing the deck to generate major resource advantage from each permanent played. Landfall support. Although Panharmonicon does not double land entries directly, it strengthens the creature and artifact side of a landfall deck by amplifying ETB ramp pieces that find lands. Coiling Oracle. Doubled reveal. With Yarok on the battlefield, Coiling Oracle's ETB ability triggers twice, allowing you to reveal and process the top card of your library 2 separate times. Landfall growth. If Coiling Oracle reveals a land, that land enters the battlefield, which can trigger landfall abilities, and Yarok can cause those landfall triggers to happen an additional time. Resource advantage. Coiling Oracle supports Yarok's main strategy by either accelerating mana through extra lands, or replacing itself with a card in hand, making it a low-cost value piece for ETB-focused gameplay. Mulldrifter. Double draw. With Yarok on the battlefield, Mulldrifter's ETB ability triggers additional time, allowing you to draw 4 cards instead of 2. Efficient Evoke. Mulldrifter can be cast for its evoke cost, still ETB and triggering its draw ability before being sacrificed, which makes it an efficient temporary value spell in Yarok decks. Value engine. Mulldrifter helps refill the hand with ramp pieces, lands, and additional ETB creatures, keeping the deck supplied with resources while its other doubled triggers build board advantage. Lotus Cobra. Mana Acceleration. With Yarok on the battlefield, Lotus Cobra's landfall ability triggers an additional time, producing 2 mana of any color instead of 1 whenever a land enters under your control. Explosive Landfall. Lotus Cobra turns fetch lands, ramp spells, and multiple land drops into large bursts of mana, allowing the deck to chain more ETB creatures and trigger more landfall effects in the same turn. Color Fixing. Because Lotus Cobra can add mana of any color, it helps a Sultai Yarok deck reliably cast blue, black, and green spells while supporting high-value ETB and Landfall sequences. Tatyova, Benthic Druid. Doubled Landfall. With Yarok on the battlefield, Tatyova's landfall ability triggers an additional time, causing each land entering under your control to gain you to life and draw 2 cards. Resource Advantage. Tatyova turns every land drop, ramp spell, or land put onto the battlefield into card draw and life gain, giving a Yarok deck consistent resources while it develops its ETB and Landfall engines. Ramp Payoff. Tatyova rewards repeated land entries from ramp creatures, fetch lands, and land recursion effects by converting those lands into survivability and card flow. Rise and Reef. Doubled Reef. With Yarok on the battlefield, Rise and Reef's triggered ability happens an additional time whenever it, or another elemental you control enters, allowing you to check the top card twice and potentially gain 2 cards or put lands onto the battlefield. Landfall Chain. If Rise and Reef puts a land onto the battlefield, that land can trigger landfall abilities, and Yarok can cause those landfall triggers to happen an additional time. Elemental Engine. Rise and Reef becomes a strong value engine by rewarding elemental entries with card advantage, ramp, and possible landfall triggers, helping the deck keep momentum while building resources. Ghostly Flicker. ETB Reuse. Ghostly Flicker can exile and return 2 of your ETB permanents, causing their ETB abilities to trigger again. Landfall Reset. Because Ghostly Flicker can target lands you control, returning those lands to the battlefield can trigger landfall abilities, which Yarok doubles for stronger ramp, card draw, life gain, or token production. Flexible Protection. Ghostly Flicker can also save important artifacts, creatures, or lands from removal while turning that protection into additional ETB and landfall value for the deck. Tireless Provisioner. Doubled Tokens. With Yarok on the battlefield, Tireless Provisioner's landfall ability triggers an additional time, allowing each land entering under your control to create 2 food tokens, 2 treasure tokens, or 1 of each depending on your choices. Mana Engine. Treasure tokens help a Yarok deck accelerate into more ETB creatures, ramp spells, and payoff cards, turning repeated land drops into flexible mana production. Sustain Value. Food tokens provide life gain when needed, helping the deck survive longer while its ETB and Landfall engines accumulate card advantage, mana, and board presence. Wood Elves. Doubled Ramp. With Yarok on the battlefield, Wood Elves' ETB ability triggers an additional time, allowing you to search for 2 forest cards instead of 1. Landfall Fuel. The forest cards ETB can trigger landfall abilities, and Yarok can also cause those landfall triggers to happen an additional time. Mana Fixing. Because Wood Elves searches for a forest card rather than only a basic forest, it can find non-basic lands with the forest subtype, helping a Sultai Yarok deck access its colors while advancing ETB and landfall plans. Reclamation Sage. Doubled Removal. With Yarok on the battlefield, Reclamation Sage's ETB ability triggers an additional time, allowing you to destroy up to 2 target artifacts or enchantments. Utility Control. Reclamation Sage gives a Yarok deck efficient interaction against opposing mono rocks, combo pieces, stacks effects, and value enchantments while still advancing the deck's ETB strategy. Repeatable Value, Flicker, Bounce, or recursion effects can reuse Reclamation Sage repeatedly, and Yarok increases each reuse into a stronger control sequence that clears obstacles for the deck's ETB and Landfall engines. Post your commander on the comments section below, and we will create a video like this for you. Thank you for watching.